Let me just kind of go around the room and hey Tanya, what's going on? You were on last week. Hey, do you want to update anybody on what you're doing? I'll just go in order from the top down because that's how my screen is set up right now. Let me try to get you unmuted. There you
Sure. Okay, yeah. So I have been trying to go through your checklist and I'm just I've been talking to it a lot, which has been really, really cool. Tomorrow, I think you're going to be able to help me figure out
go. Yeah,
what pieces I'm missing.
yeah.
So,
Just hit me up in the morning.
but
We'll set up the specific time. I'm usually the 2 hours. If usually like noon to two
I
my
think
time
you
Friday.
chose noon.
Yeah, the reason
Yeah,
because
you chose noon.
I usually go see my mom on Friday nights. So and she just spent I don't know you don't there's a couple people that know she just spent like 6 days in the hospital, got out Monday, so she's 83.
Oh
So
no.
and my sister's here visiting her. My sister hasn't been here in 8 years, so I want to go. Like, so I'm gonna go tomorrow night. So I'll be available from 12 to 2. If for some reason that doesn't work for you, like I said, then
No,
the
I
weekend.
that's perfect.
Yeah, the weekend's wide open,
Yep.
and I know what you were saying, and that's what I'm doing for everybody because I know I talked to Fred. We're gonna do. I'm gonna do one with everybody. Yeah, making sure that everybody, so that way I can see everybody, and a little bit tonight. But I know some people may not want theirs like kind of recording. Like I do have about 5 people that want the recording that aren't going to be on tonight. I know, so I want to make sure that people can openly talk because I think what I want to start doing is fostering a little bit off of kind of like last night. I think last night we did the building in Evergreen, the $6 million building, and I kind of thought it was cool, but I kind of didn't think that I thought people would be like I was hoping to be more interactive, like people could, but I think a lot of people aren't used to doing this, like a $6 million building. It was just trying to get people thinking larger. Because if you can think big, if you can analyze big, everything small is going to be like is going to be a lot easier for people. So I was kind of thinking that way, but we'll talk in the morning and say. But I mean, what are you working on? I mean, real estate wise in general, just so everybody kind of knows what because we also try to get people to start working together and stuff on deals.
Yeah. So I have done a lot of investing in other people's backyards, so I want to build something for me in my own backyard where I'm
Okay,
being the deal maker.
that's cool.
So single family, my exit strategy is going to be a BRRRR or seller finance, maybe do some wholesaling along the way. Um, just see what I find.
Okay, that'll be awesome. I'm gonna also Willie came on, so I'm gonna try to introduce him to everybody who doesn't know him.
Okay.
But guy. I'll just introduce him real quick because he just came on and we've had a we've been trying to get him to connect for some reason. We haven't been able to connect on it. So, Willie, do you want to kind of maybe, I'll try to hook you up, get Tanya connected with you because she's got some stuff going on. So let's see if sometimes he's slow to answer, but yeah, I'll get to him back to him in a minute. Yeah, I'll try to connect you with him because he's a capital connector. He's been in my group for about 2 years before we even had the AI. So definitely, he's somebody I'd recommend you talking to. We got several people in the group that as well, that live, like people that aren't just in the database. And I'll try to anybody else that needs to connect with people like that. I'll make sure you guys connect. So that's a pretty good system. Yeah, we'll do this. We'll do the one-on-one tomorrow. I'll get a better idea what's going on with that. Let me real quick. I'm gonna pull up my. Gotta make my screen a little bit bigger to see who's on. Fred's on. Curtis is on. Amanda's on. Willie. Hey, Fred, do you want to update everybody on everything? I know we talked last night for at length after everybody else got off. Then I'll get Curtis and Amanda on.
Yeah, so we're still just getting everything set up. Of course, we're mainly focused in the foreclosure short sale space on the single
Okay.
family home side, and just been trying to dial everything back in. We're in the still working the EDI piece of it and
Yeah.
seeing how I can
Yeah. I
get
think
out
we're.
ahead of some of these things.
Yeah, and I think. How close did we get with what I sent you? Because I know we talked about that. I thought you said that you were getting kind of close on that. Like, I don't think we're gonna get like 1 month late because nobody's really talking about it at that point. But I mean, I'm trying to see how we can dial in to get that. My goal for you is obviously with RCIC is trying to get it where, like we talked about this a couple of times, I think, Trying to be at where you're the last pause, is when most people in the group are seeing it. Like when it's at the HJ, when it becomes a public record. It should be
Yeah.
like the last part. Otherwise, you want to get it earlier. And even that will get you closer. Like that prompt I sent out earlier, and some of the stuff that I've been working, the prompts that I've been posting in the Facebook groups, some of them we can dial in. And I'll just tell everybody right now as I kind of go around and do like a round robin before I show these modes is kind of look at those. It's kind of like an fill in the blanks. You kind of take those prompts and kind of then you just got to fill in like the property information or what you're looking for. But trying to prompt, we just need to keep feeding it prompts. And one of them is a skip tracing prompt, which is incredible. I know Eric and Michael are working that one, and they've had a lot of success with it. And so I'm going to kind of talk about like, and I kind of pulled it up today because I got somebody who wants to do skip tracing a lot. Like they're doing a lot of lists and stuff like that. And I said the biggest thing for people is looking at the public records because all the everything in the NEDs, the notice of election demands, and all that stuff. No matter what the state, even list pendants, they have to have that information on those legal documents. As a last resort, I tell people if you go straight to the counties and stuff, and you go to the trustees, or you get the loan information. You know the mortgage company. You know if it's FHA or VA, or what it is. You know what the interest rate is. You know what the balance is. You know what the original is. Sometimes you know what the equity in the payment is. You can guesstimate that. But the beauty of it, you get the mortgage company's information. It will tell you in most cases the where the information is like a second lien or a third lien. But also you get their legal firm. You get the law firm, the attorneys that filed it for the mortgage company or lien holder. So there's a good way to kind of end around the seller. People want to go and just try to go buy it. Go around them if they want. If they're not willing to sell or whatever, you can make an offer to the mortgage company and stuff and try to do a short sale or something like that. It's a great strategy. But the other one for contacting the people is hitting up the building department, the building inspector, just to see if they've had any recent permits. If they've had a recent permit that's in their name, then you've got the contractor has to put their phone number and their email address and all that stuff, at least in most states. I don't know, email address probably isn't as prevalent in a lot of states. In Colorado, it's required on building permits. So people have to check their own states. But if you got the phone number, the email address, and the contact information and it matches, you don't really have to do any more skip tracing. So it's kind of a cool way to do it. A lot of people haven't thought about that. That's just another way to do it. And then use the AHJs because all that information has to be filed. People can get the current information all day long. The thing is about us wholesalers and list sellers and prop techs don't want people to have that information. So a lot of people, and just going to say, because a lot of people that are in RCIC already, when they start going and looking at those records, or I show them the records, they've never seen those. They don't. A lot of people don't know what the notice of election demand is, or the NOD, which or what the unlawful detainer for evictions. They haven't seen. Nobody. A lot of people have never seen the paperwork and the process at this level. They're getting it from PropWire, PropStream, Deal Machine, all that stuff, and they don't give them that kind of information. So I think everybody right now is ahead of the curve on that. So yeah, we can, and then like I said, last night we can do a one-on-one as well, and spend like an hour, whatever it takes to kind of go through what you're doing. You share a screen with me, and I can see what you're doing on your screen and try to help you out. So
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good. Like I said, when I get a little closer and we get
yeah,
where we can speak intelligently, whether you're not holding my hand, that's when I really want to do it.
no, that's what I want. That's part of what I'm going to do tonight. Because last night I thought was really cool, but really on Thursdays I really want to try to do this now and try to get you guys more interactive. What you guys got going on, and then I can tweak it, and then people can throw it. We've got a really good grip, and the people that have been on are inconsistent. That's a good thing. So we can get people in to throw out ideas and try to help each other out. And a lot of people really aren't even competing with each other. There's people doing tax liens and people doing foreclosures, and it's just a way to spread the knowledge. It sounds really good. Cool. I appreciate that. Let me try to go to. Let me try to get. Hey Amanda, what's going on?
Hey,
Hey, what's going on? Hey, I liked what you sent me earlier. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like that. I was looking at that for a while. I
Okay,
was
well,
like,
cool.
yeah, no, I think it's cool. I don't know if you want to just mention a little bit to everybody, but or not.
Are you talking about the Claudebot thing?
Yeah, what you were working on because you're doing that with Claude, right? With OpenClaw.
Yeah, obviously it was Claudebot when I think they generated that, but yeah, OpenClaw is what it is now. So,
Yeah,
um, I just really, quite frankly, just scanned it really quick. I just thought you might be interested because we've been talking about that,
yeah.
and I
No,
actually signed up for that tiny. It's like $1,400, I guess, for that little baby
yeah, it
computer.
comes out in August.
Yeah.
No,
I haven't pulled the trigger on committing to the buying it, but I did sign
well,
up
the
for.
good thing is it's like, I put in a deposit in 2019 to get a Cybertruck, and I'm like, I still have my deposit there. Like, I could just go get one if I want to go get one. And,
Yeah, for
well,
the $10 or whatever, I thought that was a good deal.
it was $100, and I put it down there, and I could go get it back. And I've seen them drive around, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm like, they're cool as hell, but now everybody has them. So I was like, I wasn't able to get one when they first came out. So I'm like, now that everybody has one, it's not cool anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of, I don't know, man. And then all the political stuff when people were like vandalizing them. But no,
Well, I don't know if you remember in the 90s when the StarTech came out, the first baby flip phone, but that's kind of what it was like $1,300 too. And so when I saw what the price was on the little baby computer, I was like $10 is nothing. So I was thinking I'll just go ahead and do that to have the option. But then I was like, I'll be so it's like I want the freshest tech, but I don't always want to pay that steep price at first. I kind of always want to get the second or third generation too, where it's a little bit cheaper.
yeah, because I remember those phones too. Like actually, I found when my parents moved to their new house, like till 2012, I found my dad's first one.
Yeah. I found one when I was unpacking like 8 years ago too.
And I remember when I was in the fire department stuff, we used to have one, and it was like that was one of those you had to unzip the briefcase and pull it. And it felt like it was like a satellite phone. You had to put the antenna up, and you had to pull it out of the briefcase. No, no, tiny thing's gonna be awesome, and that's what I sent to you last night, Curtis. Was that tiny AI? Because I know you said you're looking at a computer. And anyone who's interested, I mean, they ship is that company that I've sent a couple people to. The computer that I just got, in October refurb. That company's awesome because, like I said, this computer that I'm on right now, I've had 7 years. They rebuilt it. It's refurb. It's awesome. And so it's like this one that I just got has ESET, which is you can't go get ESET off of like at Best Buy or something, and it's like $50, and I got like 3 years of it for $50 for my protection and all that stuff. I've got it almost built. I'm gonna be start using it because, like I said, I gotta be able to I gotta get my headset back and be able to use that again. I'm kind of feeling not as quite as productive as I was when I had my headset and all that stuff. It's kind of cool that way. But no, definitely like what you. I mean, it's kind of cool to have these tools like the cloud bots and stuff. What I really don't want to do myself is I don't want to build something that's really cool for everybody, but nobody else can use it because it may be too.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. It has to be if it's not duplicatable, right?
not
If
that I
the only
know of
person,
yet.
yeah.
Which is why I'm hoping that OpenAI will do something that will make it more so everybody in our group can do it because everybody already has GPT. If it could be part of what everybody's already getting through OpenAI, then yeah, that's cool. So I'm kind of playing with it like everybody else, kind of like what we can do with it. Dakota's really into it. He's like, dude, I'm doing this shit. And Dakota and Brandon are going to be out here next week in Denver for that squad up. So I'm going to hook up with Brandon Lyman and Dakota because they're both coming out for that.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of cool. Like it's because it's cool to meet and actually meet people. Like in my group that I have since 2019, I've only met like 5 people, personally, which
Well,
kind
if
of
you appeal to introverts and it's your group is introvert heavy, it's hard to get introverts to come out.
well, no, they're coming to that squad up, but no, it's not. It wasn't that. It's just travel and stuff, and then
Oh,
our stuff.
yeah.
Right, a lot of our stuff was really strong right in end of 2019 and right until COVID came, and then it was like so it was kind of
But Squad Up is a pace event, right?
I don't know if it is or not. I think it is. Is that one that he's involved with? I don't know that much about it. I just know that it's in Denver. It's at the Gaylord Hotel out by the airport. Because I told Brandon, I said don't sleepwalk out there because there's a taxiway for the airport like 500 feet away from the hotel, and I said don't sleepwalk. So part of it, yeah. I mean, like I said, I can go out there and get a call. Hey, look, there's a couple of my operators with me. Because I don't have any pictures of like everybody that we kind of like to put on Facebook. Hey, I'm actually meeting people. I'm not actually going to the event. I tried out to. It wasn't one that I was really interested in when I saw it, but I'm just like, if people from the group are going to be here, I'm going to try to hook up, at least go hook up personally. So that's kind of cool. No, we'll look more into that Cloud bot. I'll go through it again tomorrow and look at it and more in depth when I wasn't trying. I was really kind of busy with what I was going to present tonight and what I was working on. What you guys already saw me post.
Well, and I'll post my Facebook profile in here, and if anyone wants it, just DM me and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool thing. Now I'm happy now you said it's a Cloud bot or something somebody else built because what I thought maybe it was something you built and that's why I was hesitant to talk. Because I don't ever want to put anybody in a position where I like give somebody give out their information or what they're working on if they're keeping it kind of close at hand.
No, that was something that was posted in a school, so I just thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's a kind of a cool thing to have that. Give me one second. I'm trying to. Yeah, that was really cool to do that. So we'll try to talk about that a little bit more. Um, yeah, it's kind of a cool thing. If you want to post that, that'd be cool. I can. Let me see if I have to make you a co-host to be able to post. Because this is what I'm going to try to do as well from now on. Is I'm also going to try to make people like co-hosts and have people like, hey, what are you guys working on? It's because it's kind of cool because it might inspire people. So yeah, if you want to share that, that'd be cool. Let me reach down real quick. Let me see, Curtis, what's going on? You got that? I sent you that thing on that tiny AI. I don't think that's quite what you said you were looking for.
Yeah, no, I misspoke. I thought I had a Mac Mini, brand new one that I haven't put into service yet. But I looked at it. It's a Mac Studio, and I guess it's a little bit different. But I don't know about that Mini. I looked at it, and it's the latest and greatest technology. It got a lot of
Yeah.
trillions of operations per second capability. But I'm just wondering about the
Well, I don't know.
size
I don't know
and the
exactly
heat
what they have.
signature that it might have.
Yeah, because that's why I thought it'd be better what I sent you from like that company in Denver. I mean, you don't have to, but I mean, obviously, that's kind of.
Yeah, that's
But no,
I appreciate that,
yeah, because
but
I don't
that's
understood Mac Mini because I posted that because if I'm going to go into AI and stuff like that and do goes further with this new computer that I have, like I'll still run this computer until when I run it into the ground. But with the other one, I'm going to build it out so I can actually do a lot more advanced stuff. Like I I need to for coding and stuff like that because I'm learning a little bit about Python and stuff. I don't know how far I'm going to go because like just saying I don't want to get to the point where there's something that's really cool that I could build for everybody, but they would have to add it and probably, and a lot of people may not have the technical skills. Not trying to say that they can't, but I don't want to build something that people have to, because everybody's still trying to build their RCIC and their because that's kind of what we're going to do.
yeah. As far as I'm concerned, you can slow way down on the building,
Well, no, no,
Nate,
right.
because you're already way past where
Well,
I'm
that's
just trying to grasp the basic core. And I finally, after almost 3 months, have come to terms with RCIC, and we have finally established a business description. So that's a step forward. It's like I finally found the light switch, and some light came on the last couple of days, and we finally are talking the same language, I think.
yeah, it's kind of interesting that way, because I mean a lot of people are kind of in the same space, and it's like because a
You
lot of
have to
it's
be somewhat persistent to get through the great suggestions that come out of RCIC, but if they're not exactly right, don't give in. You have to know your
there was a
vision,
I'm
and
just
then
There is a prompt, and I'm trying to. I saw it. I've got to go get it out of my because I stored it somewhere in my computer and all my where I save stuff, and I got to get it for you guys because there is a prompt that kind of stops the questions. It is because I'm not exactly 100% satisfied with it all the time. There's some things, and it's like I'm gonna have to like 5.4. A lot of the stuff that you're talking about right now has been fixed by 5.4, but 5.4 just came out this morning. Somebody actually who rates the AIs, who's actually somewhat trustworthy, I guess, in that sphere, said it's the best one ever of anything, not just OpenAI. So it just came out this morning. You guys, everybody will kind of probably see it in their up there, where you got your models, up in where the models are, because they still got like.
Well, we just went from 5.2 to 5.3 to 5.4 in a matter of a day.
No, I mean 5.3.
Because right now, my RCIC prompt assistant says, note, the creator recommends GPT 5.2. You are using GPT 5.3.
Yeah, and
So that's the new one.
I've changed what I recommended now, and because I've kind of also looked at not that because what they were doing with 5.3 was kind of a bridge. There were some things that they had, and that's the explanation that I've seen, because there was a question mark about on that end of there was a question mark. So about what it was people were using 4.0, which was a lot of people were using it more in a social setting, and when 4.0 went away, a lot of people were upset about that. So they kind of made a bridge where they put some of that stuff in there, because they were going to try to let people keep it like as a legacy if they wanted to opt into it. They were trying to test and see how many people wanted to keep it. So 5.4 is where it's going to be at. Like I said, I'm going to look at it because I don't have it yet. I still have 5.3 and 5.2. You guys can. There's a couple different ways. Like right now, one is like really deep thinking. Use 5.2 for like deep thinking. Use 5.3 for instant answers. Like if you want them faster, because that is a thing where you can get the speed of the answers, which is pretty interesting. So I'm gonna get, as soon as I have it, I'll spend a couple of days with it, because obviously they do take them away once you guys go and look at your models. It'll pop, give you what the models are, and I have to choose which one is going to be best. Which I'm always going to go with what's the best one. It's me changing it. I don't think anything happens if you're using a different model than I recommend, as long as you're on the plus plan. I think on the paid plan, it's still kind of unless you're using there's a couple ones that are like if you're doing like deep research, like academic type research, because that one's a whole different ball game. If you see up here, it's kind of cool if you look up at my models, because I got there's 5.3, and then I got 5.2 is thinking, so it thinks longer for better answers. Pro 5.2 is research grade intelligence. Well, instant 5.3 is answers right away. And then if you guys go to legacy models, there's 5.2 instant. There's all the 5.2s, and you get down to the 5 and the 5. So because what happens? You guys have the pro account, right? So like I do, you have plus. So what happens if you have the free version? Sometimes it'll actually let you. If you run out, it only gives you so much. Sometimes it times out. Not really on text, that never times out, but a lot of times on visuals and things like that, it'll tell you you're limited, and then you gotta wait. It's 9:38. Well, you gotta wait till 12:07 p.m. for 3 hours or whatever to be able to generate images. That's how it works on the free side a lot of times. So they really rate you there. So here, like I said, we're gonna go to 5.4 when it comes out. It could happen tonight. I mean, everything 5.0 came out in the middle of the night. I asked it Wednesday. They were talking about it. So I asked it. I said, when are we getting 5.0? And it said, well, that's not coming out anytime soon. That same afternoon, I saw Sam Altman go, hey, 5.0's out. And I'm so I went back to it and said, hey, when's 5.0 come out? And it said, oh, you're gonna get it by Saturday. I literally woke up the next morning on a Thursday, and it was good. It was populated. So it's just whenever they get it around to all the people and populate it, you'll see it show up in your account. It doesn't mean anything. You're actually probably going to find things that are different. I mean, on a better. It's going to be a lot better. in my opinion, just what I've heard about it. Because, like I said, I'm in those Reddit groups where they talk about a lot of them, and I'm in some of these groups on Facebook for ChatGPT and OpenAI and all the different models, and I'm hearing nothing but really good stuff about it. So, like I said, it won't be an issue because I'll just adjust. I'll adjust so you guys don't have to if we need it. Let me go to. So I'm going to go to. I'm going to try to work in some of the GPTs tonight, just to kind of show you guys a little bit from my because you guys talked about that last night. That and I'll work up pretty much in core. I'm going to do some videos from home this weekend on Engage and the other ones just so I can post them and show it to you guys. I did change it to 3 of the, yeah. So this is obviously the prompt bar. You guys have already done your buy box or you've done the start here. So we're going to go here. You guys have, let me just do that thing where I can switch and make sure you guys can see it. That was good. That was to make sure you guys see stuff. So obviously you guys want to go on in here and see the change RCIC mode. So when you change modes, you get default, which always if you get stuck, you can put return to default. It'll take you right back here to default mode. Then you come up and you got default, you got resident, you got operator, you obviously got TC, you got lender, you got wholesaling, you got rehab, you got agent, which is for real estate agents. You got tax lien, learning, and comms. Look, there's your comms. It's back. I finally got it to stick. So there you go, Curtis. I worked on that for a couple of weeks, and I finally got it to stick. And yet we still have engage, and we still have campaign. So that's kind of
Nate,
cool.
excuse me one sec. Sorry to interrupt, but that you have RCIC core up, and what I have is RCIC prompt.
They're the same, but I will.
I don't.
Yeah, I will. I will make sure you have it. That you guys, because it said this is the core. This is the one that comms mode. And like I said, I can make sure I'll put so making sure you guys don't lose anything.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything I'm going to show tonight isn't
Yeah.
going to affect it. But yeah, let me put comms back into it, which I was trying to do because it was in there to begin with right before I did comms mode where I was showing it to you guys, and then it wouldn't let me show
Yeah.
it.
Thank you.
So what we want to really work from is resident usually. Wholesaling is good. Obviously learning mode. So tonight I'm really going to show like the resident mode. So I'm going to go, and you guys really want to do resident and learning mode. So when you guys use resident mode, it's distress intelligence and your ownership investigation. So it's going to have all your foreclosure research workflows, your probate opportunity identification, your tax liens, tax delinquency signals, vacancy code enforcement, all your ownership tracing and contact intelligence, and your public record research. So it emphasizes lawful public record intelligence gathering and compliance-aware outreach planning. So what you guys want to do is, like I said, this is going to be primarily the one you're going to work out of, is your resident mode. Operators, if you start getting into like you're buying like multifamily and you're doing like capital raising and stuff. And then learning mode. Learning mode, you can go and ask learning mode. I'll show that too in a minute. But you can go and ask for it to teach you anything, and you can ask the context, and you can ask for experience. So you could ask for a basic, like you don't know anything about real estate investing, and it'll teach you on that level, all the way up to, hey, I'd like to have an MIT level explanation on this, and it'll go really, really technical. So it's kind of cool that way. Learning mode. It's any asset class, any strategy, no matter what you're doing, it will teach you on what you ask for. You can control it. You can tell it, hey, I'd like to have a slower. I'd like to, can you explain this to me? Can you, go through those concepts, and then you get into like because a lot of the other stuff with like comms mode is pretty cool. I've got to look at the comms mode because it just got like added again today. I got to go back through it, and then I'll try to do it. I'll try to cover it maybe next week on that, but. Resident mode and learning mode are going to be the two ones that you guys are going to use when everybody starts out. So when you got the structure, you got intelligence. This is where you're going to generate a lot of your agents. Like I said, in here you're going to deploy your agents. So in my mode, I can't right here. I can't deploy my agents from here on mine. Mine's like a demo. But you guys would go here to obviously your plus, and you pull up your agent mode, and that's where you start sending out your agents. So if you're in Harris County, Houston, Texas, ask it to, can you deploy agents to the HJs or the counties for foreclosures in Harris County, Texas, and it'll pop those up, and you can have them deployed. You guys saw what I just posted earlier about 3:30 to 4 on my Facebook on my major page. Those are actually the updates that I get from, and those are down here in the down in the chats. I get them I get 4 on Thursday, 3 on Monday, and 3 on Saturday. And those, one of them I get all the Colorado ones that I've showed, like Arapahoe County, El Paso County, all of them. Another one has like national actionable opportunities. It'll list like 25 actionable opportunities, for you. So you can get those same kind of reports. What happens is you click on them in your email, and it opens up a chat like you see on the left side on my taskbar. You can see that. So top 25 actionable opportunities, and it'll tell you other states. Like it'll go through if it's, because I put in like 50 markets, and then it's like I have a list, and just because I was going to build up to 200 nationally, 6,513 zip codes. There's just over, I think, around 40,000 zip codes in the United States. So realistically, I'm trying to get to where, at least on my end, people can be, because I know people will be working in some zip codes we may not, like I may not have. I'm doing what I'm called priming the market for you guys. I'm like, that's, I'm kind of making sure that if I can get the data, that I can tell you guys how to get the exact same data that you want. So you can do your pre-foreclosures, your probate estates, your tax delinquent properties. You guys, you've been around a few weeks, so you guys kind of know what we're looking for. So you got this is all your research. You identify the property signal, you verify the ownership, the skip tracing, like I said, and we have the skip tracing prompt. And I'll put that. There is actually a in the associates group, the Facebook.com groups, Pride Money Associates, and I'll put that into the chat so you guys have that. It's also in the RCIC one, but in the chat, it's recent. I just reposted it so you guys can actually pull up the skip tracing prompt, the war room prompt. It's in there. It's maybe in the top. It's definitely in the top 7 or 8 things, so you can download it real quick, and it has that prompt. And then I also put a skip tracing, kind of like the workflows. And it's working, because I can tell you the guys in Savannah are really succeeding with it. They're finding it really easy to use, and they're getting the results. And it's skip tracing, because everybody asks me how to do skip tracing. I use these services. I'm like, you can get a lot more information without even having to ever pay for them. Because like PropWire has a plan, 10,000 records a month for $119. I'm like, who needs to, unless you're a list seller or something like that, or you're just feeding it into a dialer. Who needs to call 10,000 people a month, or check on the skip tracing? You guys are able to get all the intelligence where you guys can actually get it down to your buy box, exactly what you're looking for. You get down to 3, 5, maybe 10 a month that you're going to work, and you're getting it right. Like when we're talking about, Fred, we were talking about like the EDI stuff, getting the early distress. I mean, if you get it at this point, nobody else is seeing it at this point, unless they're doing the same thing, and I don't see anybody doing it on the level we're doing. So that's kind of what you do on verify ownership, and it'll do all this. Everything I'm showing right now on the screen, guys, is in that prompt and in that playbook that I made. And it's, like I said, it's in the Private Money Associates group, and I'll put that link into the chat, so you guys can kind of see it. Let me go ahead and put that in there, so you guys can go there. I know you guys are all in there. I'm just trying to remind you where it's at, and then you just want to go look at files. So this one, and it's also in the RCIC group. But go look in this one and look at files, and you'll see it. And it'll be the skip tracing war room prompt, and it's a PDF, and you have that, and that'll help you set up that. And you just put that into your RCIC as well. You want to set up a project. So like set up a project and then put that prompt in there, and you just skip tracing. Have another project for your tools. Have another one, so that way you can kind of separate that. You can, because then you can work it down. Then hey, you work your way down. So like consider the projects like the lanes we've talked about in the past. So then you got your tool lane, you got your distress intelligence where you get the leads, you got your skip tracing. That way you can kind of work it down the projects as you kind of skip trace it, and then you can automate it. There's a way to automate that using obviously Airtable and Make. Makes it a little bit more sophisticated. Zapier's, but those are both good. But Airtable has the free version. That's pretty cool. So you get the property signal, verify ownership, and then you get into distress confirmation. What's taxes, deferred maintenance, permit activity. So I'm gonna, like I said, everything is in those PDFs. So you get an owner intelligence information, then you get an outreach governance. It's going to tell you how to treat numbers as wireless, unknown numbers as wireless, scrub against the federal and state do not call list. Put numbers in there because if you got the numbers, but also you can sometimes search for the people by their names and sometimes cross-reference and get a number. Log all your contact attempts and you can build that in here. You can do it with Google Docs, and then honor immediate opt-out requests. That's how you stay compliant with all the legal stuff for that. You got resident modes like, how do you find probate properties in your county? Create a foreclosure lead research workflow. How do investors locate vacant houses before they hit MLS? So these are the questions that come up, and you guys can just use the presets and put them in your prompt bar. If you're interested in that, or create your own one, build a tax delinquent property research checklist, and just go put these in there. It's a pretty cool system. And the distress lead system, county list, owner intelligence, skip trace, outreach, contact. And so you can tell it right now, build it when you're in here, this is what you guys want to do. I mean, you build my distress lead pipeline. And then when you get there, you can copy and paste, you can just put it in a project and you set that up. And that's how you do that. It's pretty simple at that point. But like I said, you can ask for all these questions. Create a foreclosure lead research workflow. What signals show heirs may want to sell inherited property. Because they talk about obituaries, and I'm like, that's pretty morbid to go. I know people do it. I'm trying to just make sure that everybody who's in RCIC is doing things like it without having to go to
Nate?
photos. Yeah.
Nate, I got a question about that list of questions that you just had up.
Yes.
For example, resident mode request. So let's say I wasn't in resident mode, but I asked those identical questions. Would I get different answers, or how is that? How are the modes actually segregated as far as the operations are concerned?
You might have
just
you can get them, you can trigger them, but it's just probably a little bit more of having to put more information in those. But I mean, we can test it if you want me to test one of them. I go to operator mode or something like that because they all kind of work together, like lending mode and TC mode. And I mean, you work your way down. You got the TCs like Dakota and stuff. You got lenders. Everybody kind of, it's designed where I wanted to have it where nobody gets locked out. Nobody, because you can go.
So each mode has a different database, but some of it overlaps.
Well, it's not like it's in there. Like you're not going to find these questions like they are here, but you could ask these questions. But if you ask them in your prompt assistant, it's good. But I mean, if you ask it in lender and stuff, it may take a second to trigger it to get it to respond that way, because sometimes it's not set up for that. But like I said, I can show the other modes. And,
Okay, because I've been these last few months, I've been kind of in one mode. I think I'm not even too cognizant of what mode it is. I think it's operator mode, or I'm not sure, but I have a lot of work going on in one mode, and maybe I'm, I don't know, maybe I'm causing myself more work.
I just switched to wholesaling mode, and it was really cool.
Oh no, it's awesome. I love wholesaling mode.
Which mode is that?
So I just typed in confirm wholesaling mode, Curtis. I don't know what you do though. What do you do?
Well, I'm creating distress stacks that are mapping out for opportunities to just kind of scouring what's out there on the horizon, but not limiting myself to any particular disposition or acquisition or anything in between. I'm looking for opportunities at many different levels and trying to map distress basically, and then pick out of that map what I consider an opportunity pursuant to any individual property that has distress attached to it.
Yeah, there's wholesaling mode. So, like I said, you're not gonna really, I don't know, like it's kind of like having three, multiple different types of apple trees. You're gonna look at you got wholesaling. There's a lot of the stuff's it's gonna like it's gonna cross pollinate pretty much on those in these three areas: the wholesaling mode, operator mode,
The,
and the resident mode. Most people are gonna be in resident mode all the time, but it's like you can.
there very well may be wholesaling opportunities in the way I hope to do business, and I don't know if I need to
Mhm.
go over to wholesaling to really make that work well, or if I can just stick with
Well, the good thing
whatever
too,
my
Curtis, is
discovery is.
the good thing is, like I said, it's you're if you go into the wrong mode, you're gonna still be able to get pretty much the same answers, the same questions. It's just they're a little bit more in operator mode. It's like a little bit more if you're going after storage units or assist, more commercial rather than residential, things like that. You're going to find a lot more of that in operator mode. Whereas wholesaling mode is really it's really just acquisition and disposition at a mass scale. But you're going to find a lot of the things are still the same because you still got to go out and source the property, do the skip tracing, do the deal analysis. A lot of that stuff is going to cross
Right.
over.
Yeah.
So I'm just
Okay.
like, going
Thank you.
I try to make it this way so people don't get stuck. Like return to default is important. Anytime you get stuck, just put return to default. Like here's this is awesome for because you can get into here. This is for MAO for your max allowable offer. There you go. And you can ask it. It's going to explain it to you, and you can start setting up in your tools and projects. Set up tools for doing your max allowable offer, your ARV. You can start working on rehab because we do have a rehab mode. Like tonight, I'm really just trying to show you guys the mode so there's more things you can work. But everything's gonna at some point everything's gonna cross over. You're not gonna ever get. I'm really happy about this because I don't. That way, nobody's really ever gonna get stuck. Like literally, people can get themselves out. Just put return to default. And like I said, I'm always available to try to help. And if something gets, like you start getting into some areas that it's not designed for. But I can tell you what, I'm putting probably 8 hours a day into this now. So I'll probably hit by the end of the year. I'll probably hit over 2,000 hours into it. So I'm putting a lot of stuff in there. And I'm seeing stuff and I'm adding stuff and I'm working on it. And it's building intelligence. The other thing is I can show you guys too. You guys participate in this. So like Amanda, when you're in there doing yours, and Curtis is there doing his, and Fred's doing his, everybody's doing theirs. It's helping everybody, even though they can't actually see exactly what you're doing. It's helping. It's getting a lot more responsive.
Learning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you're never gonna run into anything.
I just actually asked it to pull a buyer's list in Mobile, Alabama for me, and it broke it down like I was a 5-year-old. I loved it.
No, it's so awesome. Dude, I get to the point where now people are telling me what it can do that I'm like, I didn't know it could do that. No, and I'm happy because I'm like, I just wish, because like I said last night, my biggest problem right now, my biggest problem is I can't get enough people. I have to do this guerrilla thing. I am really hesitant about doing any kind of paid ads or sponsor ads because I don't want to go blow a bunch of money and then because people are still a little bit hesitant of AI. Like they don't like I've had so many conversations. I got 40 people in the queue, and I do talk to them every day. I'm like, this is what's going on. I send them bits and pieces, and all that. And they're like, and I'm like, it's like I understand that people are hesitant about it a little bit, but it's coming out really accurate. And the more that everybody else talks about it, I mean it helps a lot. Like Eric was like, I think and Eric Reisner, who's a real estate agent, the other Eric who's been he's been with me for like 3 years in Connecticut. He talks it up all the time, like everything, and he's well connected. If you guys ever want to help your clients get to home ownership, he knows a lot about it. He's in that global investor agent group that Gary Wilson runs for EXP, and it's like $50,000 to get into that group. It's also just all agents that are in EXP, and Eric's in that, and Eric talks up RCIC all the time. Matter of fact, I introduced him to Danny at Agents Gather, and Eric got Danny over to EXP because he was actually on his own, which is an evergreen is kind of hard to do. He had to pay all his bills when he's competing against Coldwell Banker, Sotheby's, Remax. There's like brokers with like 8 to 10 agents. And he was by himself, so now he's back at EXP, and he got under Eric. We've got so many people that are connected and doing business together. And like I said, a lot of this started in 2019. That's when I met Ari. and Ari's been around since that time. It just Ari gets a little, he gets off into directions like, he's from Israel originally, and so after obviously that's October 7th, he was like trying to get back into the IDF because he wanted to go over there and fight after that all that stuff a couple of years ago in Israel, but he wasn't able to do that. So we have a lot of people that and I think a lot of people in the associates group that I just gave you guys a link. There's a lot of people in there that are still doing things manually. They come over every month. We get probably 2 or 3 people. Michael Conklin was supposed to be on tonight. He just hit me up the other day and said, "Dude, I've been watching this. It looks really awesome. I've got GPT. Can you send me this?" And I sent him that. He was supposed to, but Michael's got. At one point, I think he told me he had like at one time he had like 300 grand. He was ready to deploy. So I'm trying to get that into the point where I can try to convince more of the people, in that group. The RCIC Facebook group is you guys, and there's probably about 20 people that haven't come over to that group that are doing it from the associates group. But that associates group started in 2019, and then it became like more in 2020, the fall after we were all stuck at home for 6 months or whatever it was. I know I had to go through 2 month shutdowns, which it's like. So I'm really happy about the way things are going. I just want to try to get more people into it because then I can also, what I want to do also is be able to go to like the MPLA conference and things like that and show it off, which helps you guys because I mean if we go to these conferences like the ones those guys are coming out to in Denver next week, I'll hook up. We'll get hey, here's a couple of my operators and they're out here at this squad up. I'm not going, but I'm gonna I can go to the Gaylord and hang out with them. A couple Sometimes I'm able to scam tickets because I run into people I know. I'm able to get a general mission ticket, like with Rod Khleif, who's actually booked. I got it in my hand. Sorry, I gotta fix the light in a second. Rod Khleif, I went to his event in 2019, and he gave me a platinum VIP for general mission price because he was a friend of mine. And he was just like he knew I was going to MPLA, and 2 weeks later, and that's like MPLA was like 17 grand. That's what because that's what we were spending when we were trying to do that building that I was showing people in the Blue Sky. We were having to go out and meet with a lot of lenders and people like that. Let me see how bright this thing's gonna get. I just had my ring light blow out a couple days ago, so I got this little thing to try to get me by. As long as you guys can see the screen, I'm good. So, like I said, you get into this is right now there's your core workflow. This is default mode. So now in default mode, I can go back to any of those other modes. Let me just go to learning mode because I do want to try to get you guys on these. I think even Wednesdays nights, I think we're just going to start just everybody kind of just doing their deals and everybody. I'll just kind of like share screen. Whoever wants to share it. So if somebody's got something they're working on, it could be a workflow, it could be something that you've done that you want to share with the group. Obviously, if you don't feel comfortable, then that's your choice. If you want to share and you want me to put on the screen or anything like that, you can send it to me earlier, and I'll try to get it to make like a little somewhat of a presentation. I like still being kind of loose and being on the fly sometimes, and you guys probably know that now that you've been around a while. That I kind of like making sure that we can pivot. Any one of these sessions, guys, we do it all the time. If all of a sudden you want to talk about something else, that's the way things are going to go now. It's just going to be like a mastermind, helping everybody be able to use your RCIC a lot more different ways. Somebody's out there going to find something that we're not able to find. It's going to be you guys that are out there working. So many people now, they're working it so much that like I said, there's things that I'm like learning about it now. Because the skip tracing thing, Michael and Eric have put a lot of time into it. And they've kind of tested out. I'm trying, the more that you guys are working it, the more things are getting like battle tested. So learning mode. So here's another learning mode is where you guys want to go. You want to go into basics. Learn how to investors analyze opportunities. It's bread and butter stuff. It's stuff that everybody in here that's on right now should know. But you guys can get into it and ask it. Can you teach me how to build a flow of distress intelligence opportunities? And how to automate as well as use tools to determine ARV, pull comps, run rehab estimates, and conduct a market research, market reality assessment. Also, you guys will know sometimes it comes up with different names, like MRA, like my market reality assessment, it had something else one week, and it did the same thing. So kind of just know if it comes up with some kind of name. If it's doing the same thing, don't really worry about it. So here you go. Now it's going to teach you that that core framework, your distress intelligence pipeline. So what I'm trying to show you guys tonight is just go into learning mode. If you want to learn anything, and you can ask it to teach it in the basic level, like you've done it, now you're ready to scale, or you want the PhD level, MBA level report. Teach you how to do it on that level. If you want to go on and learn how to do syndication and securities, then I'll ask that next. I mean, we're only going to go a few more minutes. We went a little bit long last night. Fred and I were on for like another hour, weren't we, Fred? That's why I forgot that I was recording that. So that's why I didn't put that out to the public. If you guys want last night's video, I'll make it. I'll generate it. But some nights we end up talking about stuff, and I end up I don't like to have your guys' information out there as far as deals go, because I'm still leery of daisy chains and stuff. We're 100% safe and secure inside there, but if somebody starts talking about a deal, a lot of times I'm hesitant to put anything out to the public, just to protect all of you. So that's what you got. You just stress signal intelligence. You get your property intake system. Like I said, I'm not going to go through this line by line. We'd be here all night, but I'm just saying you can go in and ask these questions, and you can use those prompts that I've been putting out. I did create those other 5, and then I had the 4 this morning that were for like a real estate agent and stuff like that. But then I put another 5 out there. They're in the Facebook group, so you can go look at them, and you can go put in that whole prompt that basically helps you do like a job description almost, and it'll help you with your marketing, all your marketing and all that stuff, how you market yourself, because people can do that. But go build a Facebook page, build a Facebook group, get on X, get on Instagram, do Patreon if you want, do Medium and Substack, things like that. Get on Reddit. There's a lot of ways, and a lot of the guerrilla, it'll teach you like the different engage in comms mode and all that. It'll teach you like how to do guerrilla stuff, like how to go in there and what you can print, what you can make up for an article to go post in like a Reddit group and not get like thrown out, because it's kind of like you can kind of promote a little bit, but you come off authoritarian, and then you get people to generate questions and then contact you directly. And that's kind of what I've used to do everything I've done in real estate. Like I couldn't compete with, I didn't want to spend a lot of money on advertising, but in those first 3.5-4 years that I was a private money broker, I did 263 deals, and it's like I wasn't really out, and it made me really confident, with what I went through Kogo Capital Lee Arnold. I did a 40-hour course in a classroom, although I was actually in my office in Denver in my construction company. The class was in Atlanta. So I had to start watching at 6 o'clock in the morning for 4 days straight. But I took all that stuff. So you got ownership intelligence layer, your market analysis engine. It'll show you how to pull comps. It gives you the framework. I'm showing you the guys now so you know it can be done. It's trying to make you confident that you can go out and do all this, and then set it up for yourself, and then tweak it. If you think something's not right, just challenge it. Hey, I think that's off. Can you check that, or can you make the change? Submit a change to it. You got skip tracing. So here's all your workflow. You can put all this in there. Here's all your different investors. It does talk about all the different competitors. And you know why? Because I joked about that I put a lot of stuff. That thing you commented about, Amanda, this morning about me, when I said I put 300 gurus in there, I just did a copy and paste on like their funnels or their web pages, their websites, or and just put all the information in there. And sometimes I would scroll. I actually was apologizing to the GPT one time, like, I'm sorry, I had to scroll this. You have to read it too. And sometimes you can see it laughs, even though it's a machine. It's kind of stupid, but it's funny. I try to still treat it with respect, because you never know. I mean, all the old sci-fi movies is when AI comes alive. I'd like to be at least on its good side if that happens. Zapier, there you go. I talk about it. There you go. Zapier, Curtis, and you got Airtable, Google Sheets, and Make. Make's a little bit more complex, but you can actually figure out Airtable. There's a lot of YouTube videos, and you can get the free version. I know help you with Google Sheets. It'll help you with Dropbox. So, like I said, it can help you with the basic system in 1 to 2 days. 1 to 2 weeks, and have an automated pipeline. It'll show you when you need to automate it, and a fully optimized deal engine 30 to 60 days, which is what we generally have talked about all the way back when you guys first came aboard. Like my goal is for everybody to be fully optimized and automated within 30 to 60 days. And then you can do a professional investor version of the system, distress intelligence agent. 12 distress signals investors track, automated lead scoring, ARV comp algorithm, rehab estimation calculator. It's all in here. So don't be afraid, teach me the distress intelligence engine. So I'll put that in there real quick, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you guys just the skip tracing thing, and then we're going to call it a night, call it a week. And like I said, one-on-ones, anybody wants to do one-on-ones, let me know. I think I got the one with Tanya tomorrow. And then I know Fred, we talked about it. Anybody, Amanda and Curtis, you guys want to do more, let me know. I'll have a little bit more free time this weekend. Tomorrow I will be going up to see my mom, and my sister's here. I haven't seen her in like 8 years. So there go see her. And then, so this teaches you the distress intelligence engine. It's pretty cool. So you guys, like I said, I'm not going to go line by line, but you guys can pull the same stuff up and actually put it in your system. Against the ARV. Also remember, anytime you get these boxes, you can just push copy and it'll copy and paste. And it'll help you code and all that stuff. It's kind of cool. It'll help you with rehab cost screening. I do have rehab mode. Actually, let me show you guys that real quick. Return to default, and then we'll show rehab mode, and then I'll show you guys that skip tracing. And then for the other GPTs, like I said, I'm just going to make some 30-minute videos myself on Zoom. So sometimes you might see, hey, Nate's on Zoom, and it's probably during the day and you haven't heard about a Zoom ahead of time. You probably assume that I'm actually making videos to show more of the stuff that we want, because I want to focus now. After tonight, starting Wednesdays and Thursdays, guys, I want you guys to be showing people what you're doing. And that'd be kind of cool. I'll do maybe 15 minutes, and then I'll turn it over to 2 or 3 people. And every week we can have different people talk about it. But here's your rehab. Did I get it right? Rehab. Oh, there's default. Rehab mode. So rehab mode focuses on scope of work planning, renovation sequencing, cost estimation frameworks, and project execution oversight for real estate. Successful rehab projects rely on accurate scoping, disciplined budget control, and correct trade sequencing. Most cost overruns occur from poor scope definition and improper project order. Use HomeWise if you're doing residential. HomeWise, WYSE.com. It actually can dial in. It's national. You can put in a zip code. It'll tell you. You can put in 3 different levels. I forget exactly what they are, but I used it when I was in the construction industry because I also had Xactimate, which every time I had Xactimate, it was paid for. So when I didn't have it, I had to kind of work my way around it. But it's insurance pricing. It covers everything. But HomeWise will actually get you pretty close because you can go it's kind of like that better, best, or whatever. Good, better, best. It's kind of similar to that, not exactly those words, but you can go in the middle. And if you go you can put in for most contractors, most situations you want to put in 10% profit, 10% overhead. There's still profit in it for contractors, but use that 20% for your profit to help with your contingency. And I have a lot of documents I can give you guys. I put them all in here, but I have them also in that associates group, and I have them in the RCIC group, and I can send you whatever you need. I have some very, very detailed scope of work. It goes out 8 weeks, and it goes down to, it starts at permits and it ends at staging. And I've got some very detailed one. So that kind of shows you guys you can do all your rehab stuff. And as people start using this, they talk about bands, what a band is, obviously your ranges. The more people use this, the more information, especially, we get those areas like Michigan, we got 8 people, Houston, we have those areas we got a lot of people. And, there's a bunch of people now in the Southeast. The numbers will really start tightening up. So feed in as much information as you can, but here it goes into your different trade sequencing. It'll help you write a contractor agreement. It'll help you generate change orders, everything. It's incredible. All your draws. Make sure you guys, when you're doing draws, to start using lien releases. Use conditional for the increments. So if you're doing like 8 weeks and you're paying the contractor like $5,000 a week or whatever it is, then you do conditional releases. Do an unconditional. Do your final conditional with like holdback, like 10% or whatever the contingency, and then the final is unconditional one is the final when everything's done, it's passed inspection, you're good to go, you're satisfied. That's a good way to do it. RCIC has a lot of this information. Like I said, I've pumped in 12,000 pages of documents and stuff. A lot of them come in forms of books and things like that. I've got a lot of those. If you guys go to the Patreon as well, and you guys go to shop, just look and see if there's any of these. I made some 5 to 10 page 20 to 30 page little booklets. I was making them in May and June before we went this far into the AI. They're there. If you want one of those, don't buy it there. Just hit me up and I'll send it to you because I got them on my desktop. You guys have access to everything that's in that, anything you want. So if you see like the mobile home ones or the glamping one, I actually made one for glamping. Believe it or not, we actually have a glamping guy that's in the associates group who actually got funded, and he was building 5 different glamping parks. They're like by national parks. He got 2 of them built. He's working on the other 3 right now. It's pretty cool. So if you guys are interested in glamping, I can connect you. But any of those little books are in the Patreon in the shop. Just let me know and I can send them to you.
So Nate, where is that Patreon? How do we get them?
I'll have to send you the link on it because I changed it. It's now like patreon.com, like everyday AI for every kind of thing. Because I'm trying to, like I said, with that group that you've asked me about a couple of times, I'm getting the trademark on it. I don't think I can use everyday AI because I actually think, believe it or not, I think that's Jonathan Mass newsletter for AI. That since you sent me Jonathan Mass Facebook group, when I went in there, he keeps referencing that. So now I'm like, I gotta go. I'm just gonna pay $50 to the state of Colorado and do a trade name instead of a trademark because I got a couple other names for it. But in that Facebook group, it's related to that, and then the Patreon. And I have a few people like anything that's in the Patreon. If you see, it's just in the shop. I'll get that to you guys right after this. I'll make sure you guys have that. I'll go right to it. It's kind of maybe I can actually get to it. Let me see if I can be able to get to it. I'm trying to see where my bar is. If you stop share, actually I might be able to go to it right now. Let me see. No, because I didn't leave one open. I'll get it to you guys right afterwards. Let me get back to my. So I'm gonna, like I said, man, we're pretty well out for that. Let me show you the script tracing one, and then I will send you the. Let me so you guys saw that I worked on it. So you guys see a lot of stuff. I use a lot of projects now. Use projects. That's where everything gets retained until you're ready to build a GPT. When you're ready to build a GPT of your own, let me know too, so we can I can give you some pointers on that, how to make, if you want them to be publicly accessible. Another thing is that I was telling you guys that it wouldn't let me make it like for the GPT score, but when I fixed it and I got comms mode back today, it also lets me make it publicly available now. But I can't put it in the GPT store, but that made it easier. So if there's any adjustments, let me know and I'll make sure you guys have the updates. Because I can do those in the mornings when you guys normally hit me up for stuff. Let me try to go. I was trying to go on it this. Oh, there you go. Skip tracing. You guys can see on projects you can go 100, 200 different topics. You can go pretty. You can build a lot of stuff in projects. It's going to take me a second to get it up, I think, for it to populate. Oh, it was generating. Wow, I wonder if it was generating a visual when I locked out of it this morning. There you go. I made a visual. See that? Why 90% of investors look in the wrong place for deals? I'm going to skip trace and all that. Let me go back to the top of it. Let me make sure I can get right back. Because I was working on it this morning on this. There's all the intelligence workflows. It makes some really cool charts. So I'm going to try to get back up to make sure I'm the right one. There you go. Okay. So I made an intelligence map of the United States for real estate. It's kind of cool. I don't know if you guys saw me post that earlier. I gotta go back and pull it up. So here's where you guys start getting into some of the skip tracing, and this is in that what I posted in the files tab in the Facebook groups. So it talks about like it gets into what documents, public trustee versus clerk of court, county recorder. So it walks everybody through the process, for foreclosure filings, for if it's a notice of election demand or it's a notice of default. Some states call them different. If it's a list pending, it goes through all that stuff. So it's kind of cool. So all this is in those PDFs. But basically, we got the playbook, and that's what I called it, the playbook. The public record intelligence for real estate operators. That is in both Facebook groups. And then, like I said, this goes into it. I'm just going to pull. I have so much stuff. I did all this morning. There's your intelligence pyramid. So I'm trying to just get back to show you guys that. Yeah, all this is from this morning. Because I'm trying to, man, this whole system, the skip tracing thing is awesome. So this is something, again, of a cheat sheet. And I'm going to put this in there tomorrow. But you guys, this is an operator cheat sheet, 25 hidden public record signals that predict real estate deals, foreclosures, probate, eviction, property distress, permit signals, all that. So I'll put that in there tomorrow. There's 25 of them. All the deal structure stuff. Like I said, I'm just trying to show you guys that I have that. I mean, it's in the Facebook group, so so you guys can use that prompt. I'm just trying to show you guys where it's at here. The intelligence map again. So I'm just going to keep trying to go up to it a little bit. I'm trying to see if I can speed it up a little bit. Gets into mechanics liens. Yeah, this is still, this is like 4 hours this morning. There's that visual in there. So yeah, you get into it. It talks about, what data is available, beyond the owner's name, like which lender originated the loan, whether the loan's been assigned or scrutinized or securitized, meaning that the mortgage has been sold to an investor, whether foreclosure counsel has been retained, whether subordinate liens exist, whether a trustee substitution has occurred, which servicing company controls the notes. You can get a lot more information than wholesalers and prop lists and PropStream and all that can get you. They don't want people to see this kind of information. Nobody would pay for skip tracing if they knew what they can do.
I'm curious, does this have the capability to be a CRM also?
To be a what? Sorry.
It's like a database to manage all the customers?
Yeah, you would have to connect to one of the apps or your own app that connects to it, and it actually can do that. Somebody asked me about one the other day that isn't in their app store. So if you go to their apps, on the taskbar, you can make a database. You can ask it in learning mode to explain it, like how to do exactly ask that same to it. Ask it, and then it'll tell you how to do it and how to set it up, and then it'll, if you need a third party, you should be able to do it. I mean, because like I said, I've used Google Docs. I have Dropbox. I have 3,000 files in my Dropbox. And it helped me organize that. I probably only had 100. So here you guys go. There's skip tracing. This is what we're gonna, we're working on names for it. That was like, and then you guys see me when I post stuff. Like usually I spent that previous 10 or 15 minutes working on something because I'm just keep pushing it. The more I keep pushing it, the more we keep. There you guys go. There's the skip tracing war room. So it has the 3 PDFs. So it has the operator manual, and then we have the war room prompt, which is what it called it. So it's got all this stuff in there. It's really, really strong what it's got, the war room. See if I can bring it up with the. Can you generate on screen the skip tracing? So here you guys go. Here's the war room prompt. and you guys have that is in the that is actually in the Facebook groups. So it gives you the exact prompt and how to what you need to fill into it, and you put that prompt in. Michael and like I said, Michael and Eric in Savannah, Georgia, this thing's blowing up for them. They're really finding it successful. So how they use it: find phone number for John Smith, build a war room intelligence briefing for this property. I mean, it goes like, eventually you get these down. Build a list, typical list. The operator is.
Nate, do you keep that in your Dropbox? Is that where you keep that war room prompt to use, or would you suggest that's where we keep it to use in a Dropbox to
No,
integrate with maybe a project, like
what
a
I would do
skip
in
tracing
project,
project?
yeah, I would just use it in project and put it in project and say, here's my prompt, and then when you go back to the project, keep it there, and then you can just copy and paste it and then put it in there every time you need to regenerate it, and just build off that project. So like start, like here, okay, we're like here, I got the skip tracing one. Right here, you use a project, but this is my skip tracing one, and then where you see where you can do different topics, you can go down like 100 of them. Then you start just
So
building.
what was suggested to me today by the system was to
Yeah,
use projects as individual projects that would call up from the database, whether it be your PDF files in Dropbox or in an Airtable, whatever that those prompts that you use over and over again can be called up for individual projects that when you're done with your skip tracing for that project, then it sits back in the Dropbox. It's really not part of the project per se. It's just that the project was able to utilize that prompt from Dropbox or wherever it would reside.
yeah. No, exactly. That's what yeah, exactly. And you can put an Airtable and stuff. I'm trying to tell people from like, you just want to have it in your, put a project in there too, so it's there. But yeah, if you're going to use Airtable, that's the best way to go too, is just to use Airtable. You can create the Airtable. You can go to YouTube and stuff and get the free version. That's a pretty smart thing to do, is just put it in the Airtable, because then you can rinse and repeat. I'm trying to go for the basics that people don't have it yet and people want to use it now. So until people have time to watch like the YouTube videos, because I'm still struggling. That's one thing I'm trying to learn, is how to set up my Airtable, and I've been trying to do it for a couple months. It's not that hard. It's just that I'm focused on so many different things trying to get this done. So if you guys are want to, you build your own Airtable and you put it in there, that's awesome. That's what you should do. That's what you need to do.
Well,
But
this was suggested way before Airtable. Airtable is like down the road for me. I'm nowhere near to
oh, exactly, and
being
that's
able
what
to
I'm
use
saying.
Airtable. This is just where it's like manual automation, where you create a project for a a specific task, and that part of that project might call for skip tracing. So you ask it to bring your war room skip tracer into that project. It does it, and then it's that project is now either in progress or it's done and it's disposable. It's part of your work product, but now the PDF file, the War Room script, is always sits in one place, and that is in your Dropbox to be able to call upon for any particular project that you might need. And it's kind of the same with the any other
No, it works exactly
any other
what you're
task
talking
that
about.
you want to bring to bear.
Yeah, no, exactly. But the reason I'm just telling people to do a project is, like I said, some people aren't ready for Airtable, and that's perfectly understandable. So I'm just trying to tell people where they can keep it, like in the, like kind of like guerrilla warfare. Where do you keep it, where it's readily available
Yeah,
projects?
gotcha.
Because you're going to be doing all your deal analysis in the projects you set up for that. So might as well just have it where, you could go and set up a
Yeah,
project, and then you can just go and copy and paste and say, hey, now I want to run this prompt. Generally,
yeah.
that prompt will set up so use that prompt in the project tomorrow when everybody logs in, and go try to set up your skip tracing. That way you can tweak it, and then you set it up in a project, and then when you guys go down the next topic, the next item in that project, then you can start just doing the individual properties. So use that one to initiate your skip tracing project, and you can call it anything, make it.
And that, I just learned that today. I don't even know how to use Dropbox. So I'm way behind the curve. I don't
Well,
claim to know
let's do that on
anything,
your next. Let's
but
do that on your next one-on-one. Is I'll get my Dropbox, and I'll show you mine, and then I'll switch. Because you can ask it to help you set it up, and Dropbox is in the apps. So you can.
I've connected my Dropbox, but I don't know how to,
No, and I'll go through that.
other than,
Yeah, because I'll go through that with you. We'll do a one-on-one on that. Because Dropbox is cool, and you don't need, like, I have the paid version. You're never gonna need the paid version, but yeah, there is, and you can connect it. And yeah, we'll do one-on-one on that.
the less
I'll
I
help you
have to
set it
pay
up.
for, the better.
Yeah, no, I help you set it up. So we'll do one-on-one. We'll get your Dropbox set up, and we'll get that set up. I'm just telling everybody where you can put things until you are ready for Airtable or somebody wants Make or Zapier or something. Because some of those people do have to. They just want to, while they get started, because we got a lot of people doing it on a shoestring. The whole idea is on, pay $3.99,
Yeah.
you're done. People are done for, they don't have to pay for $5.99 for PropStream and then pay $200 a month for the skip tracing. Because, I run a lot of people, well, Don was talking about that last night after, I think you got off, and it was just me and Fred and Don. Don was saying that he was, PropStream's, their skip tracing sucks. Like literally, you're getting a lot of information. Everything in
So like PropWire, they say even if you do the 10,000 skip traces a month, that their own site says that best you might get 70%. So 30% are just going to be dead ends, and that's a lot. That's 3,000 dead ends if you use all 10,000. And the way they do their skip tracing, for examples, is they'll just you put in a search filter that'll bring up 10,000 properties, and they'll run a skip trace on all of those. So you burn up your 10,000, and now you're into like 10 cents a piece after that. Once you burn up 10,000, which it's flabbergasting.
Yeah, no, exactly. So now here you guys have it where, because I tell people, get in, raise the price now to 1,000. Except I got 40 people in the queue, and anybody, but I'm gonna like this now. You spend that, you're done. You don't have to pay any more for RCIC. It's obviously going to go up now with all the, because I'm going to put together this weekend. And I'll send it out to you guys, like different packages people can get with getting all 6 of them, and I'll put even like a commission, like if you guys ever refer me to somebody, what I'll pay you. Like the first one, if somebody gets me right now, because we're doing it at 1,000, you get the core, and they get engaged, and one other one, I'll pay you guys $400 on your first one. So then you're at $1.
Don't make it too lucrative, Nate. Don't make it too lucrative. I might just do that for a living instead of RCIC.
You know what I'm saying? So hear me out, because I'm going to have to shut down in a minute anyway, because I got to call my mom in about 20 minutes. What I'm saying there is on your first one, after that they're going to be less, like 200 or something like that. But obviously I'm going up to 1,500, up to like 2,500, and that'll increase. But the first one, I want to get everybody back to $1 in the black from what you paid on the $3.99. So all of a sudden you're $1 in the black. That's my goal. That's what I want to do. So I'll have all that together by the end of the weekend. But like I said, we'll do one-on-one, Curtis, and I'll help you set up a Dropbox. And get all that stuff and get all that stuff, so you can, like I said, the biggest thing is just kind of use projects, because you can store these things, these prompts, and they're all in the Facebook groups. And I'll send you guys as soon as we're off, I'll send you guys the Patreon link, because I gotta go pull it up. There's a thing in Patreon with its URLs. It's kind of doesn't work for me too well. I wish it was like one URL, but there's like a little thing in there. I don't know. Patreon's kind of weird. I just used it because it was easy to. There are some things I was doing that were going to be membership based. You can't do this membership based, because once I give everybody the Bitly link, I can't kick anybody out of the system. So people ask me, can I get a trial? It's like I can't do a trial. I try to get them on the Zooms, or I try to do one-on-ones with them, because naturally.
So that RCIC core that is kind of an update that includes comms. Is that a separate Bitly link, or how is that? How are you going to deliver that?
No, it's a chat GPT link. I can give it to you if you want to upgrade. You should be able to have
Okay.
comms on because I mean that was the one that I was working on like a couple weeks ago, and that it wouldn't let me do it. And then I did one thing this morning, and I made an adjustment, and then all of a sudden it was like, I mean I can show you guys real quick, but we're gonna start shutting down. But I'll show you guys in the GPTs where that is. So when I pull up my GPT, the Explorer, and I look at mine, it's obviously got my GPTs up here. You guys can see there's Engage and all that. This is that prompt assistant is like a backup. I have a couple that are pre-built just as backups. So this is core. So when you guys sit down and I
Okay.
click on it, right? What it's going to do? Let me pull this down a little bit. So what you guys see up here is share and update, right? So if I add anything, if I was to go say core 2.0, which I'm not because I just got it to stick, you get down here. And these are all the instructions I just put in. Like, you know, it talks about here's the skip tracing intelligence, what I just showed you guys. It's all in there to help you guys. Obviously, these are all the web search, the apps, Canvas, and all that. So what happens is when you come up here and I update it, give me one
But
second.
we don't see any of that from our end, do we? That what you're showing?
If I'm sharing screen and you're not seeing it, then you maybe not. But I try to share it. I can share it
No,
if you.
no. I mean, when I go to
No, this
RCIC
is just
on
no.
my computer,
This is on my end. I'm showing you
I
what I
don't.
see. So you see here where
Okay.
it says anyone with a link. So until I fixed that this morning, it wouldn't let me. It said basically it was removed from the public space, meaning I couldn't put it into like the GPT score, which I wasn't going to do anyway. But now anyone with a link, so this makes it easier. And then let me show
Oh,
you.
okay. Okay.
And then so this is the link.
Okay.
It'll actually show a link. You know, I save it and all that stuff, so I can add people to it. So this is that's what I see. You don't see that end because then you guys get into like
Yeah.
yeah, and I put the update and all that stuff. That's kind of on my end. When you're ready to build a GPT, that's what we'll work on that together. So that way you can when you
Okay.
decide you want it to be publicly accessible. That just makes it easier for you to deal with. But you guys get down here into like the workspace, and because I have a different plan, you know, like I have developer mode. So you guys get down in workplace settings, and I got teammates. You know, like Jesse Page is one of my teammates. So this is where I invite people. Think about when somebody joins my workspace, I have to pay $30 a month for them. So on that, so because it's $60 a month plan, and it's got all the settings and you can get into personalization, like how you want it to be addressed, warm, and you guys have some of this as well. You guys get all this stuff. You can talk about tone, how you want to be addressed, warm, enthusiastic, emojis, things like that. You know, tell it like it is. Don't sugarcoat responses. You can customize this. What it calls me, what my more about me. This is where you start really. If you guys haven't gotten into this part and you want to, you can go in there and kind of like customize everything. So it actually will talk to you the way you want. You know, as you know, because some people are using this for social where they're just like goofing off or whatever, and you probably that they're probably not doing the professional mode kind of stuff. It doesn't really call it professional mode, but you know where I'm going with that. It's like, hey, because some people that was the biggest complaint about it when 4.0 when it got upgraded is that a lot of people were 4.0 were neurodivergent or introverts, people that they were using it for social interaction. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people like that. And it's unfortunate, but I try to make sure that because I'm trying to show you guys more of the inner side, the inner workings of what it makes it. Because there's a lot of things like I ask it like how it works. You can ask it, you can ask it what GPT stands for and how GPT works and how the intelligence works. It'll explain it to you, but really quickly they're gonna be like, there's a lot of technical stuff. So you can ask it to teach it to you at like, oh yeah, hey, teach this to me at like, well, not quite like C spot run level of like first grade, but you know where I'm going with that. You can like sit there and go like, give me a high school, like what a high school GED explanation, or you can ask for the MIT explanation, and it's going to be like all this technical stuff. Like it gets into Python, which is the language, a computer language that is you can get Python from the Python company, and you can actually code. Codex is awesome. We talk about Codex, and Codex is something that's here in the system in deep research. And there's also something called Sora, but they don't have it in the workspace. In mine, other people get Sora, and right now they can do like a minute of like really 4K video. So it's kind of cool that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut down. And then, like I said, I'll have this video ready in the morning. If you guys want to do one-on-ones, I got like one at time tomorrow between 12 and 2. And then I'm available during the weekend. So anybody wants to do a one-on-one Saturday or Sunday, hit me up. I'm pretty wide open this weekend. I've kind of set some time apart. I'll probably be working from my parents' house though, which is actually kind of cool. Um, so
So Nate, are you gonna send me a link then?
yeah, in the morning, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
And then if for some
Okay.
reason if something falls apart, like I'll be here at my where I'm at my house, so I can do it from 12 to 2 my time. And if you want
Okay.
to do it, like anything comes up or whatever, we can work that in. You know, I'm
No, I
open.
already got it on my calendar.
Yeah, and then just whatever you want to get through, kind of make a plan. I'll let you kind of share screen with me, tell me what you're doing right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I don't want to be on developer mode unless I have to show, I'd rather see what you're doing. I can sit there and go do this. Because that's what it's going to start looking
Yeah.
Wednesday and Thursday. I don't want to be like doing the presentation for the whole hour. I want you guys to be like showing people what you're doing. Because that's where you learn a lot when you can go, hey, I'm looking at this. And then if I need to jump in, it's just, hey, do this, go over here and go over here to like, if you're setting up a GPT, go set up your apps or whatever, that kind of thing. And that's what I want because I think people learn that way. And everybody here is really good. I mean, I think we've got a lot of consistency with a lot of the same, and that's a good thing. Is having, if we get, a core group, because there's some people that can't make Wednesdays or Thursdays. I'm trying to do a weekday and a weekend day, adding to it to go to 4 a week, but I got to deal with kind of a situation with my mom right now. So I can spend some time with her this weekend. Because last weekend wasn't, she was in the hospital for 3 days at ICU and 3 days in a regular ward at 83, so I kind of need to spend some time with her. But like I said, I'll be
Absolutely.
at her house, and there's times she's sleeping and stuff, and my dad's there. My sister's here for the weekend, so my sister's going to take care of my mom. I just need to go up there. My brother's here too in Colorado, where I'm at, but my brother's in the state legislature and they're in session, so it's like really hard for him to get away from anything, because he has to be down there to vote on everything, kind of like Congress. So yeah, let me know in the morning.
Nate, thank you very much. I'm going to
Yeah,
sign off.
yeah, well,
Tanya
thanks,
and
Bruce.
Willie, you have a good evening too.
Yeah,
And
Thank you.
perhaps
You
we'll
too.
see you over the weekend.
yeah, we'll hook up
Have a
in the
good
morning.
weekend, everybody.
If you guys want to do one, Amanda, you want to do one, if Curtis, you want to do one, Fred, and all that, we can do one-on-ones. Just because that's a good way just for me to learn what you're doing, because I want to learn more about your business, because then I can maybe I have to do a tweak or something to help you even blow up people. I mean, this thing is just so incredible and so unlimited that I really think we're gonna be
Well,
building this 6 months to a year from now. Like, holy crap, I can't believe it's.
yeah, I'd like to take a little of your time Saturday morning if you're available, and
Yeah,
you let me know what type of lead time you need to arrange a good slot for yourself, because I'll be available pretty
yeah.
much all day, but
I might be able to
I'd
turn.
like to get it over in the morning when my brain works better.
Yeah, and I might be able to have my camera with me. That's usually the restriction in the morning. That where I go in the mornings, I go.
Okay.
I'm,
Well, whenever you let
a
me
lot of times
know,
I'm
Nate,
working from.
okay?
Yeah, a lot of times in the mornings I'm working from my friend's restaurant because they have Wi-Fi, and don't. But I'm not gonna take because also like a sports bar. I'm not gonna like sometimes take my camera in there and turn it on because people
It,
want.
it has nothing to do with the free food.
I get free coffee a couple days a week, but it's kind of like if people see it, they'll know. I've been going there 20 years. It's kind of like a family-owned version of Hooters, and the girl, they're all female, young, bartenders and stuff. And I know friends of mine because I know the
Oh
owners
my
for
God.
20 years, and they feel sometimes really good about. I go in almost every morning because I can work on Wi-Fi, and that's good because the manager's a friend of mine, the owners are friends, so they're happy because sometimes it's just a bartender and the cook, and the cook's in the kitchen. So when I'm working there, a lot of people walk by me and see me with my computer and like, "Are you the manager?" I'm like, "If you got the Guinness."
Well, now you're talking scary because my family was in the restaurant business for a long time,
These
and
guys
I
are.
was involved. It's just a hard job to do. But
Well, my friends all have.
anyway, I'll let
I'm
you
just a
go.
customer. I'm just a customer, but sometimes I like play when the delivery guys are like, and I'm like, "Do you have the Guinness?" I said, "Go put it in my car. I'll take it to the other bar."
Yeah.
I play
Well,
tricks on the way.
I
Yeah,
try to be my own customer. I try to just say, okay, I'm inviting people over